Good morning, everybody. We are just about ready to start. Yeah, we're right on time, 9:30. Oh, I wanted to show you what's that. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going to just start off with some mimosas today, but somebody forgot the orange juice, so we're just going to do champagne. So Happy New Year, everybody. We'll put it on over here. Oh, Red Ball. That's a great idea. So if anybody wants, actually, Rob, why don't you come on up before you pop the champagne, because I'm going to allow you to do the duties. Everybody just wanted to take a second to introduce Robbie Duquette. We've developed a great relationship with Robbie. I know he's helped some of your folks out already in the room, but you know, we do so much with Robin. As some of you may, the last time we introduced Robin and introduced the relationship, you know, we look for a mortgage relationship for well over a year, and Rob is just the perfect fit and just found the right person with the right company behind them to help you guys out as far as, you know, marketing and just anytime I call Rob, he picks up the phone. So, you know, give him your hard deal first if you don't want to give him an easy one right away.
I like the easy ones.
But definitely check him out and he'll help you out.
We have you know, a couple new programs are rolling out after the new year that just I'm getting acclimated with in terms of bank statement programs for your self-employed borrowers, where we can use their business income bank statements to qualify them and not tax returns. We're also going to be rolling out some low or no credit score for self-employed borrowers as well. So kind of that subprime coming back now. So you know, if you have any borrowers that weren't able to get qualified previously and you want them to get a second look in terms of getting pre-approved or what their options may be, please have them give me a call. If they're not pre-approved now, we'll work on getting them approved. I like to turn every person into a buyer, whether they're renting now, if they own a home now and they're buying another home, please, you know, have them reach out to me. We counsel them and show them the best path to obtaining a mortgage. Okay? So my cards I'll leave up here for you guys. Anything you need, if you want to run a scenario past me, my cell phone's on there. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I don't go to bed till late. I mean, my phone is always on, and please don't be shy to call late at night, early in the morning. If I don't answer, it just means I'm usually on the phone. Okay.
All right, cool. And thank you, Rob, that provided breakfast for everybody. And I'm going to let you do this, Rob.
Oh,
come on, we got to pop that. Absolutely.
Stand out of the way here a little bit.
All right, so we're going to get started in just a second. I'm just going to kind of make sure our video is working well. Thanks for your patience, everybody. We got a few more people. Got a great packed house right now. Hey!
Not too bad, not too bad.
All right, well, Happy New Year, everybody. We've got a ton of education planned. I don't know if you saw the education calendar, but we are booked through May. One of the highlights that we're going to be doing, what's the date when Bill's coming from Philadelphia? March 14th? March 14th. It's a what? Thursday. It's a Thursday. That's right. We're Thursday. Our March mastermind is going to be extended. We're starting a little bit earlier. Bill Kratz, our broker owner down in Philadelphia, is going to be coming up and talking about building wealth in real estate. Good morning. How to build wealth in real estate, and he's just a dynamite person. So we're looking forward to that. In February, we are not going to have our monthly mastermind. We are going to be heading down to Arizona for our growth summit with HomeSmart International. So if anybody can make that, it's awesome. Registration's still open. Sorry you missed the early bird special, but definitely get in there. We're going to have a party Saturday night for our HomeSmart Homes and Estates agents. I say only, it looks like our office in Louisiana is going to be joining us for our party. So hopefully we'll get together. We'll have a nice pre-party. Pre-convention party, Sunday morning starts registration. There's going to be classes. Then it'll be going into Monday for another packed day of classes and speakers. And then Monday evening is going to be the Agent Awards, International Awards banquet. So it should be pretty awesome. If you're looking for me the next day, I'm going to be still in Arizona. We have our broker conference that Tuesday, and I'll be flying back on Monday. So we're really excited about that. And to get out of this weather, I wish it was this week. All right, so we're going to talk about a listing, CMA listing presentation. Okay, how many of you guys use a listing presentation? Okay, just a few of you. HomeSmart has fortunate enough to develop an entire listing presentation for you. So when you see that on RSA, if you go to the Marketing Design Center, it's a listing packet and buyer packet combined. Okay, I've customized it a little bit and integrated it with my personal listing presentation, and that's what we're going to go over today. Then we're going to talk about, depending on our time, how we're presenting your comps to your potential listings, and also going over the paperwork. Okay, so we're going to go over the listing presentation fairly quickly. These slides will be available for anybody who wants them. I'll email them out to you as a PDF. Just let us know that you do want them. All right. Just give me a second here. Does everybody can see the screen there? Yeah. Okay. So again, a lot of these slides are directly on your HomeSmart under the Marketing Design Center, and then you can customize them to however you want. And I'll go over each slide individually. Well, let me get rid of this music here in the background. I love starting the day off with some oldies. Let me get out of here. All right. That was a little loud, huh? So here we go. One of the things I like to do is when I sit down with somebody. Now, at this point in the presentation, I typically would have already done an initial walkthrough. Now, a lot of coaches and people think that that's a waste of time. I personally think the initial walkthrough is perfect. So when I receive a phone call from somebody that potentially wants to list their home, my conversation basically goes a little bit like this. Hi, Chris, I got your name from XYZ, and we're interested in selling our house, whatever, we're making a move. So I usually, okay, great. Where are you thinking about moving to? Now they start talking about their move, et cetera, so I can kind of hit on possible referrals or anything else. But I kind of keep the conversation light, want them to talk a little bit, so they, people love to talk, right? So after they tell me where they're moving, I'll typically say, well, let me tell you how I work. I initially like to schedule what I call the initial walkthrough. At that time, I'll come on over. You can give me the grand tour of the house. I may give you some tips of what to do, what not to do to maximize the value. And then at the conclusion of that appointment, that's when we're going to set up our second appointment, when I'm going to come back. We're going to sit down for about an hour and a half, and we're going to talk about the marketing. We're going to talk about the local market. We're going to talk a little bit about how I work. Then we're going to go over the numbers. And I stress that to them because what's the first thing that people want to know when you go through a walkthrough? Well, can you give me an idea, kind of, sort of, what it's worth? The answer is no. You know what that house is worth before you even pull into the driveway, 99% of the time, right? And as you're walking to the front door, you're kind of getting that value in your head, and then your price when you walk in the door is going up a little bit, going down a little bit, depending on what's going on with the house. So you don't want to talk numbers with them immediately, okay? Don't give them the dessert before you give them the meat, all right? So then you schedule your second appointment. Come on back, you sit down, and when I'm at the kitchen table, I like to play a little bit of music for them while they generally ask you, can they get you a cup of coffee, get you a cup of water? The answer is always yes, okay? I don't care if you just drank a gallon of water before you walked in that house. You want them to get you a bottle of water, okay? So now they're immediately mentally doing something for you, okay? So it's an important thing to accept that water. All right, so we got a little music going, and then I'll start the slide. I make sure that everybody that is that has an interest in the property is there. And if they can't be there, then we're doing a Zoom webinar like this and we're getting them involved, okay? This is the important stuff. So this slide right here, again, can be customized. As soon as you pull up in front of the house, if you're running late or whatever and you didn't have a chance to take the photo or you forgot to at that initial walkthrough, you can pop right into the presentation, take a picture with your device, and put it right into the your listing presentation, so it looks all professional. All right, so let's get started. These are our goals, okay? And I'm going to be talking to you as if I'm talking to the homeowner, okay? So these are our goals, and I think we share these common goals. We want to sell your property fast, the top dollar, with the least amount of hassle to you, right? And they love that. They're like, yeah, absolutely. And how are we going to do that? With our team system, this is now, again, some of these slides you're going to want to personalize yourself, but I always tell everybody that, you know, you do have a team. So when you see some of these slides, you say, oh, team system, I don't have a team. You do have a team. Your attorneys, your home inspectors, your stagers, your photographers, HomeSmart, we're here to help you as well. So our unique team system, our programs of technology, our consumer programs, our leading edge technology, and of course, my specialized knowledge. And these gestures that I'm doing as I'm talking to you, this is what I'm doing to them as well, okay? So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about learning your needs, the powerful marketing data that we provide, the knowledge, the technology that we're going to use, and the tools to help sell your house. We're going to guide you through the process, and then we're going to talk to you about some of our network and our partners. Okay, learning your needs. Tell me a little bit about your house. Now, I know you did the initial walkthrough, but now you kind of want them to talk to you about their house and let them know, and say, you know, remind me again, what do you like about the house, what you don't like about the house? Because I'm going to use some of these things to do marketing and highlight your property with those details. Your ideal home. Now, again, you want to bring this situation up again in case you did not the first time. Talk to them about their ideal home. You don't want to let a $3,000–$4,000 check that you could have gotten on a referral slip away from you. So you want to let them know that, you know, we're a national franchise. We have offices throughout the United States. Okay. Just want to make sure we are going here. Okay, so now this slide is a little controversial, okay? And what I mean by that, it's a winner, okay? So what I say to everybody is now what? This is what I call the ABCs of real estate. It's what most realtors are going to come and do for you, right? A, they're going to advertise themselves. B, they're going to bang a sign on the ground. C, they're going to create an ad for you. Maybe they'll run it. D, they'll download it to the multiple listing service. E, they encourage their office to show the property. F, they figure they might as well have an open house. And then G, they get on their hands and knees and pray the house sells. Sound familiar? So there's a lot more involved in selling the house the way that I work. I'm going to get into some of these details today. Obviously, we won't be able to do all of them, but we're going to touch on them. And again, how most agents operate is typically you get one person, and that's your listing agent. And that person is responsible for all the activities of the sales of your home, the sales, the marketing, the feedback, the showing. With good intentions, they wind up dropping a ball here or there. So what I've done personally, that's okay. So what I've done personally is I developed a team. So everybody in my team has their specific duties. And again, you guys, every individual agent can develop a team as well. Again, your stagers, your home inspectors, whoever else, your attorneys, whoever you're going to be using if you have a personal assistant. So we're not dropping any balls along the way. Now, we have a slide here that says professional biography. Okay, you want to get that filled out. I didn't fill out mine here. The slide's available for you. Again, it's in a PDF. You could just check. You could just fill in the blanks. Your team. Okay, highlight your team members again. Your personal biography. Okay, so some people say, I know my professional biography. I'm maybe a newer agent or whatever. Use your personal biography. Tell them about your grandchildren, your dogs. You know, grab that relationship with them. And then, of course, your marketing plan. You can outline that for them here as well. Emily, do you have the folder, the listing presentation that we're going to be giving away today?
Chris, you're saying as you're sitting at the table, that's when you want to engage and have them and talk about yourself?
Well, again, you go through, I don't talk too much about myself because it's about them. Okay?
Right, no, you said you talk about your grandchildren. When is that, when do you want to do that?
When, right at that point, when you're telling them how you work, okay, at the beginning part. So I was explaining my team, so at that point you may want to bring in your professional biography or whatever. This presentation, 99% of it is going to be available in here. So some of these features or some of these things that we're going to point out are going to be leave behind. So you don't have to get into too much detail about your professional biography, personal biography. You'll have that for a leave behind. This is a hardcover folder with a diamond cutout where you can put the picture of their home right in here. Okay. And I'll point out some of the slides that are leave behinds. So we can't predict how the property is going to sell, but by using some statistics, we could show you what resources buyers are using to look for homes, and more interesting, what resources they use to actually find a home. Now, this leads me into how I work. So, for example, newspaper advertising, direct mail. 40% of buyers still today, if they're thinking about buying a home and they see a magazine, they flip it to the paper, they're looking at that stuff, right? But only 2% actually purchased the home that they found in a certain publication, okay? Now, this is the reason for these statistics. And now I go into telling them how the typical real estate company works, and then I go into how we work and how I work. So the reason these statistics are like this is right now, all over Orange County, Rockland County, all over New York, there are agents sitting in their office, and those agents are called the up agent or the agent of the day. Their job is to field the phone calls or the internet leads as they're coming into the office. That up agent is typically the newest agent in the office, the agent that needs the business. They're fielding the calls that are coming in. So how those conversations are going to go is they're going to say, the buyer's going to pick up the phone and they're going to say, if they're calling in on a sign, they're going to say, yeah, I'm sitting in front of a yellow house and I think I'm in the town of Montgomery, right? I mean, they have no idea, or they keep driving, they have no idea which street they're on. So now it's that up agent's responsibility to try to scramble through their up book or look that house up on the computer. Or if it's an internet lead, they're going to generally give you the MLS number or the address, right? So again, the up agent will scramble, look on the computer, pull up that listing. And if it's not their listing, they're basically going to rattle basic information back to that buyer, which makes sense. They're going to tell them about square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, taxes. Oh, it looks like it's been a little updated. They're pretty much saying everything that that buyer can potentially see on the internet anyway, right? So their main goal, and I'm telling this to the sellers, their main goal is really to schedule an appointment. They want to take them or throw them in the backseat of the car, which of course we don't really do too much today, which I think is not good practice because, you know, we have got some experienced agents here in the audience where that was when so much relationship was being built, when you were able to put them in the backseat of your car and talk to them about whatever, driving by homes that have recently sold or, you know, that maybe you sold, and they can, you know, driving by the parks, schools, things of that nature, instead of just going house to house to house to house. But that's for another class. So that up agent, they're using your property or your lead. They're just basically a lead for that up agent. They want to take them around, show them 7 to 10 houses, and sell them anything. And most home sellers at that point are going to fill that word in for them. So the way that we work is every call that comes into the office, whether it's a sign call, internet call, whatever it is, that call is going to go directly to the listing agent. Okay, so now when they're sitting in the middle of nowhere and they kind of don't know where they are, they're in front of a home, that listing agent is going to know what house they're talking about generally, right? Or when they call in on an internet lead, or they call in on an internet lead and they give the address and the MLS number, at that point, I actually play a little dumb. And I say, you know, I've got a few listings over in that neighborhood. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Now I ask the buyer to start describing the property to me. What they're doing at that point is that they're talking about their hot points, what they liked about the property, whether it's location, whether it was the bedrooms, whatever it is, the gourmet kitchen. So now it gives me the opportunity to start selling them on those hot spots. And I tell my homeowner that at that point, I'm going to schedule an appointment and I'm going to show them your house and your house only. And now when I get them to the front door, I have them half sold on your house because they told me everything that they're interested in, right? If they rule out your house, that's when I'm going to turn them over to one of my team members and let them show them other properties that are out there on the market. Okay, because my goal is to sell your property, not everything else. And that's when I'll give out a referral to an agent office or the team members. So this slide, it does last this long. So I feel the way that we work is that it benefits three people. It benefits the buyer because they get the right information about the property. It benefits the seller because who best can sell your property than your listing agent? And I do this because, yes, I'm their listing agent. I'm already working for them. And then it benefits me because now I have the opportunity to do both sides of the real estate transaction. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And that also comes back to benefit you because now if I'm working both sides of the real estate transaction, now I can call the buyer's inspector, I can call the buyer's attorney, I can call their banker, I can call the appraiser. So I have contact with everybody, which is going to get us to the closing table faster, right? All right, pricing the property to appeal to buyers. This comes right out of this packet. This is part of the leave behind that HomeSmart has developed. So if you're 95% at fair market value, you're going to appeal to 95 buyers. Okay, point that out to the sellers. Now, if you want to just go 5% more, 5% over market value, then you're only appealing to 50% of the buyers, okay? So you want to point that out to them. Pricing it right. And I do this, I get music going on in the background. If anyone recognizes the theme song, right? Price is Right. And it just, when you walk into that house, and that's one of the reasons why I do that initial walkthrough, because I want to develop a relationship with that person. So this kind of, really kind of gets them in the mood for knowing that I'm just not there for a hard sale. My point at this point is I'm working for them. I'm going to be walking them through the process. So you can explain that to them. If they're overpriced, it's going to be the longer they're going to be on the market. So pricing to sell, again, this is something you could leave behind if it takes longer to sell. You're going to miss the initial selling activity. The effects of overpricing, again, this is really important. You want to let them know that, 1 month, as the longer you're on the market, the less you're going to get for the house. And we know that because the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors tells us that a seller nets more money if it sells within the first 30 days. And I tell them I've consistently netted my sellers about 1.5% higher than what the average agents do. So those are some statistics that you should get for yourself. Use the office statistics. Our office statistics are actually greater than the average company. So you can absolutely use that. And then we also have a slide here, list to sale price. HomeSmart, Homes and Estates wins against the average office. So our homes are selling faster than what the average office is. And anybody can pull these statistics. They're right on the MLS. Put the search criteria in, go down to the bottom. There's a little button there that says statistics. Hit that button, and you got your statistics. It's super easy. I don't have a lot of statistics in my presentation, but as you know, depending on who you're talking to, whether it's an engineer, they love statistics. Okay, so you have to kind of know your client as well. Okay, our associations. How many of you guys point out that you're members of the National Association of Realtors, the New York State Association of Realtors, Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors, Dutchess County Association of Realtors? This stuff's important. And I just kind of glide over it, but I let them know that. And this is kind of cool. You guys will be the first to know that we will be licensed in Connecticut very shortly, so we're expanding into Connecticut. Yay. Our multiple listing services, okay? And this is how I present it. You all know what the multiple listing service is. Everybody says yes. And I said, well, let me tell you a little bit more about the multiple listing service. We are not only marketing your property to potential buyers through the multiple listing service, but the reality is we're marketing it to realtors. And you're like, what? Yeah, we're giving it to realtors. So the more realtors that can find a home on the MLS, the more buyers we're going to be exposed to, right? So the more MLSs we can be involved in, the more areas that the MLS covers, the more agents, the more buyers. Now this slide's important. And it not only talks about how real estate agents look for homes for their buyers in today's market, but more importantly, how buyers look for homes for themselves, right? They're starting without us, right? Years ago, they used to come to us first before they even, knew what they were looking for, they didn't know the area or whatever. So buyers today, what they're doing is that they wake up one day, and this is the time of year that they're doing it, and they roll over. If they have a significant other, they're saying, honey, darling, dear, let's do it. Let's make the move this year. So they pull out a map or go to Google, and they look at a circumference area. So I'm still so old school. They look at a circumference area of where they want to move, whether it's to closer to family, whether it's to work or whatever. And they pick out that area, then they jump online, and they look for homes a little bit more expensive than they think they want to spend, and they look for homes a little bit less expensive than they think they want to spend. So without even knowing it, they're putting themselves into a category. And then I love when my home sellers are buyers, because they just did that a week ago before I came over to their house, right? So they totally get it. So now when we talk about the pricing of your home, we want to decide, where do we want to be within the categories of competing homes? Do we want to be on the high side of lesser caliber of homes, or do we want to be on the low side of greater caliber of homes? Even in today's market, I recommend to be on the high side of lesser caliber of homes, because Robbie will tell you, money's still cheap, right? So if the buyer can stretch their buying power to get the 3-car garage, to get the 2 acres as opposed to a small parcel, they're going to do that. If we're on the high side, if we're on the low side of greater caliber of homes, they're going to stretch their buying power to do that, right? So we want to be on the high side of lesser caliber. So they're looking at other homes, let's say in between 300 and 350, right? So if we're at the 350 range, they're going to stretch their buying power to get us. If we're on the low side, say 350, and we're say 355, they're comparing your house to homes between 350 and $400,000, and we know that there is a caliber difference there, right? So very important. And then I tell them that we're going to get into that a little bit more when we talk about the pricing. Okay. Some of our print advertising, yes, I still do print advertising. So I let them know that I'll going to be sending their property out to over 100,000 households on a quarterly basis. HomeSmart, we do have a national relocation services. We're in 32 states with 16,000 agents. So wherever they're moving, we can certainly help them out. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a HomeSmart agent, right? If you're referring somebody to, I don't know, let's pick a state, Arkansas. I don't think we're in Arkansas yet, no. So if you have somebody moving to Arkansas, I don't know why. Sorry if there's anybody out there from Arkansas. One of my best friends was from Arkansas, actually. But you can always pick up the phone and get into a referral network, go, search them out on Zillow, whatever. But you want to make sure you don't give that opportunity, that money away if you can make a referral. On the internet, you're going to be exposed to on HomeSmart.com. You're going to be exposed on Realtor.com. You're going to be exposed on the New York State Multiple Listing Service has a public website. You're going to be on there. You're going to be on the Hudson Gateway Association website. They have a public website. You're going to be on the HomeSmart Homes and Estate site. You're going to be on the Carbone Home Team website. You're going to be on Zillow, and Zillow is unfortunately, it's the #1 non-branded real estate website out there. Okay, Zillow owns Trulia. Okay, so you're going to be on Zillow and Trulia. And then I also point out is that we have a broker package with Zillow, so we're getting all of the calls that come in on our listings from Zillow. So I explained to them the situation with Zillow, and I don't say that negatively, it kind of sounded like I did, but where Zillow is in the business of what? Selling leads, right? And now if we don't have a broker package with Zillow, that potential buyer that's searching on Zillow is being sold to 3 other real estate agents. And those real estate agents don't care about selling your home. They care about the lead. So that brings me back to this whole same up agent of the day, right? So we want to make sure that we're getting the calls on your property so we can get your property sold. Okay, and again, same thing holds true with Trulia. You're also going to be on homes.com. You're going to be on LoHUD, which is the Journal News of Westchester. Okay, they have a real estate section. And then we're also going to expose you to over 1,000 other real estate websites. So there's not going to be a place on the internet that you're not going to be exposed on. All right, what's your property worth? Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a slide here. Some of the other things we're going to talk about, and where's that slide, is we are going to go over your home value, what your property is worth. We're going to go over the to-do list. The bank, which is very important, okay? So I'm not gonna bother you with a phone call until I have an offer in writing and I have a pre-approval along with it. Then I go a step further. When a pre-approval comes in on your listing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm gonna go ahead and validate that pre-approval through Rob Duquette, who we work with all the time. And we cannot force them to use Rob Duquette, which, you know, as great as he may be, but we're going to it's going to give us a little bit of a comfort blanket knowing that they are approved, okay? And they love that, okay? Professional photos, we're going to do those for you, and then of course we're going to expose it to our global network and of course we're going to expose your property to our global network. Now, this is what's one of the most important things that sellers look for today, right? Photos. Right? You know, even my personal coach will tell me that I should be walking in the house on that initial walkthrough and taking pictures as I go along. People aren't ready for that. You know, they get a little bit nervous, but they like to see photos. So what I've done is, right in my presentation, I've compared a home that expired with another real estate agent and show them the difference in photos of what that person used and what we use. So this home was on the market in 2015 now. And if you guys remember, in 2015, that was the year when we didn't have any snow. And then in the middle of January, we got hammered all the way until March. So I took this listing over. This other real estate agent used this photo to market the property all through the spring. You could see the leaves on the trees, and well, you can't really see on this picture, but the blue sky there, the grass is green. She used this photo for 6 months. Listing expired. I took it over January 6th. We sold it in 56 days and did not reduce the price of the house. That's the photo that I used for that same house. There and there, right? And you can see no leaves on the trees. The house looks totally different, right? This was the living room shot that agent used to market their home. That was my living room shot. I don't have a special fancy, I mean, I have a 35mm camera. I don't use my cell phone. But you can see the difference between that and here. You're seeing the floor to ceiling windows. You see the hi-hats. You see the French doors leading into the other room. This was an upstairs 5th bedroom that they were using as a den. And you know, when you have those dormers, it's really kind of hard to take pictures because it's just difficult. But with the help of the homeowner, we moved some furniture around. I broke it up into 2 photos, and that's the room. That's the picture that we used for that room. That was her entry, and that was mine. Same spot. And then I broke it up into a couple of photos as well. And then finally, this was the kitchen net area that person used, and that was the one that I used. So photography is important. We're actually going to be having an upcoming photography class. It's not in our education calendar. I just spoke with the photographer yesterday, so we'll be squeezing that in at some point next month. So we got to get that out there on the calendar. Okay, guiding you through the process. Okay, selling your home. Appointments. You know, let's talk about appointments. When the property is being shown, the nicest way I can say this to you: get out. And I say it just like that. And they get it, you know, but tell them right from the beginning, expectations, right? Then we talk about what they should be doing for the showings, you know, leaving the lights on, you know, making sure their pet stuff is put away, make sure that there's no razors in the shower. They don't need to see your toiletries, and I give them, you know, some pointers of what they can do to make their life easy when they're all running out of the house, because I know it can be difficult at times. Feedback, right? That's another important thing that they want to hear is feedback. And giving sellers feedback today, how easy is it? How easy is it? It's a click of a button. All you do is set them up on showing assist and give them the feedback. You know, I know some agents that they want to hold feedback off because they don't want their seller to be insulted, or no, you want to get that house sold. So give them everything, and you want to go over the feedback with them. And I'll tell them that if we get feedback, you know, the same situation. Some feedback take with a grain of salt, right? But if we get the same feedback over and over again, well, we have to address it, right? If it's something that we can change or you're willing to change, we talk about it. If it's something you can't change or unwilling to change, like the power lines that go right over the top of your house, well, that's reflected in price, right? So now I'm already preparing them that feedback is going to be important. And you know what? They don't bother me about feedback. They don't want me to reduce the price of the house, right? If we get some negative feedback. All right, should you list with the highest bidder? And these are things that, point it out to them, guys. You're not the only one that's going to be in that door there. So what we call this in the real estate industry is buying a listing. Some real estate agents will come in, they'll give you a pie in the sky number, and then want to reduce until the property sells, and then you wind up selling for under market value. We want to price it correctly at the beginning. Because remember what I said about the first 30 days of the market? That is your prime time. You're going to net the most amount of money. Dangers of overpricing. Talk to them about it. Takes longer to sell, guys. You're going to get fewer showings. So when you call me up and you want to list it at this price and you only had 2 showings in 30 days, we talked about it, right? You may receive lowball offers. And then this is my favorite, is your home is going to help other properties sell. This is what you can get for your money here, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Now let's go down the street and see what you can get over here. Buyers are out there comparing about 18 to 30 houses on average before they make a decision. What they're looking at is they're comparing location, price, terms, and condition, with the biggest determining factor motivates the buyer is price. Okay? Market value. What I mean by market value, and I do spend quite a bit of time on this slide, which is going to lead me into this slide that's already completed for you. So I start talking to them about what's our biggest obstacle today. When we get an accepted offer, we go to contract, buyers are mentally moving in, sellers are tacked. The final thing that happens in the transaction before you get your final clear to close. Appraisal, right? So I prepare them that appraisals differ, and we are struggling with the appraisal value today. So, which brings me into, that's what we're going to look at when we look at the numbers for your property and we go over the comparable market analysis, is we're going to look at your house exactly how the appraisal is going to look at it. They're guided by the state they have to fit into certain regulations: bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, age of home, okay, location. So we're going to look at the comps in order to come up with value. So we don't get there to a week or two before the closing table and then the house isn't appraised out. Talk to them about the process, okay? In the HomeSmart slides, there's actually little talking notes here. Okay, you want to go over that, and that's all customizable, so you can change that around a little bit. Inspections, what to expect during the inspections. I touch on this a little bit, and inspections, it's a big deal for the seller, right? They're nervous about it, but what are they really looking at for the inspections? They're looking at safety issues and things of that nature. So I kind of breeze over that a little bit, and I'll walk through the house and talk to them maybe about GFIs and something of that nature. But this is also in the packet here, which is a leave behind, so they can go read through that. We're also going to supply them with glossary terms. So if they want to know what equity means or what the deed is, that's all in there. And again, this is relieving additional phone calls as we're going along, so I can talk real estate to them and they'll know what the heck I'm talking about. And again, that's in the leave behind as well. Your home at its best, preparing the showings. Okay, we talked a little bit about that already. I leave that behind with that. A little bit about HomeSmart, and I don't go too much into HomeSmart, guys. I really don't. I'm going to get into some of the tools that we offer, which is part of the marketing. But I know that there's some listing presentations out there where all they do is talk about the company. This, that's what makes this so different, is that we're guiding them through the process. We're working for them before they even know it, right? So I just give them a little background on HomeSmart. HomeSmart started in the year 2000 with 2 agents. We're nearly 17,000 agents strong today. We're the largest company in Arizona, Colorado. We're the #1 in Rhode Island, soon to be the #1 company here. We are the #5 company in the nationally as far as transaction goes, and #7 as far as volume goes. That's pretty powerful stuff. And if you are, what's going on? You don't see what I'm saying.
Could you just repeat that, Chris, those little statistics?
Hang on, I'm having a little tech difficulty. I'll get you information on all that stuff. All right, we got time for a sip of Red Bull. My PowerPoint is not responding at this second, which is, I love technology. But that's the beauty about doing things live, is that you have to deal with this stuff when it does happen. All right, let's see, restart the program. Let's, anybody have any interesting listing stories that you'd like to share?
Like Elizabeth, right?
What? Oh, you're live with a lot of people watching right now. But you never know what you're gonna walk in on houses. I mean, gosh, we've walked in on some crazy things. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this is the right presentation. You guys are all seeing that now. Now you're not seeing anything. All right, cool. All right, I'm back. I just have to get through these slides. Well, that's a bummer. All right, well, I'm going to clear out of it. Thanks for your patience, everybody out there in webinar land. We'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, we back up there? Nope. Emily, I need some tech help here, please. This is showing on here. It's just showing the background. Like when I connect it to here. That's it. It's just showing the background. It's not showing this.
Are you put this full screen first? Oh,
That's me, yeah. Okay, there we go. Cool, we're back. Did everybody get breakfast? Did everybody get champagne?
Champagne's in here.
Champagne's in there. Leave some for other people, please.
Anybody want some? I'm serious.
I'll have a little.
Have a little? Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a
Stacy, would you
cruise
mind handing
today.
me those glasses, please?
Oh, we're good. Exactly.
All right, well, we're good. We're just going to just skim through here real quick.
Oh.
Where's Mom?
She is.
Oh, cool. I know she wanted to come.
It's behind here, so let me just. Do you want a bottle or do you want just some?
I'll take a bottle. I'm easy. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I think we're just about here, right? We talked about feedback. We talked about some more pricing, effects of overpricing, what they offered, what they compared to, the market value, and the appraisal. Okay. And then we're just getting to a little bit about HomeSmart. And again, I don't go too crazy with HomeSmart. I give them a quick little background, let them know that we are a national company, that we've been making headlines. We've been we are recognized by Entrepreneur, Inc. Magazine, Real Trends, Risk Media, as one of the fastest growing brokers in the nation. We started off here locally. Gosh, even just this past year, we were at 29 agents, starting off January of 2017. We are at 94 or 5 today. Okay, and some of the marketing tools that we're going to tell them about, we're going to let them know that I'm going to give them an individual listing website for their property, okay? And then some of our agents will also do a, no, thank you. Some of our agents will also do a sign writer. They'll put that on there. So if you have a property, 5 Elm Street, you can go buy 5elmstreet.org.tv for like $1 GoDaddy, and you can stick it right on their sign. When we develop the individual listing website, it's a live URL, so we're able to promote it on social media, emails, etc. We're going to talk to them about our automated flyers that they're literally a click of a button for our agents to do. Let them know if we're going to drop some off, maybe have a flyer box like that, leave some in the house. All of our listings will receive a virtual tour. All of our listings are also going to receive a YouTube video. And again, it's a click of a button to do, and it's an automatically generated through the HomeSmart system. Talk to them about our mobile-friendly website. Talk to them about our smart search that is integrated with Yelp. So they're going to have area information, live interactive maps, school info, mortgage calculator, and they'll be able to get connected directly to the agent with a click of a button. And again, that could be a live URL specifically for that property. Social networking, we're going to advertise your property on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube video, and LinkedIn. This is what our YouTube channel looks like. This is what our Facebook channel looks like. Make sure you get their info if you want to become friends with them. We'll also do a Facebook targeting geographical ad. So not only are we putting a sign outside, we're also going to be sending every door direct postcards to that neighborhood. And then, super simple for you guys to do is go onto Facebook and spend $5 and just go ahead and just do an area map of a mile, 2 miles right around the property and do a targeting ad just with that property. Greatest thing is that the seller's going to see it, most of the time when they go on Facebook, and you can do it, throughout. It's a really simple way to do it, and especially now the neighbors see that property, see the property on Facebook. They have the yard, they see the yard sign out there, they see the individual listing website, they see your flyers. Who are they going to call when they want to list their home? Your civic community citizenship, obviously, you guys do you. I'm involved with Susan G. Komen, Make-A-Wish, St. Jude, Knights of Columbus. And then this is one of the last things I'm going to point out to you guys, is that this was a statistic that was done by the National Association of Realtors, and it's pretty disheartening. It says that 72% of homeowners are dissatisfied with their agent's performance. I tell them that. Why? I'm going to be unhappy with you? Well, the biggest reason is poor communication. So we're going to have a relationship here. At best, our relationship is going to end, 80 to 90 days. And I say that to them. At best, our relationship is going to end 80 to 90 days, right? But this is a long-term relationship. By the time we market the property, we get a buyer, we go through that whole entire process. Today, it's taking way too long, 80 days to get to a closing table in some cases. So we need to keep the lines of communication open. Okay? I want to hear from you. You're going to hear from me, because this is a real estate transaction. It's one of the most stressful things you're going to deal with in life, and there's going to be bumps in the road as you go. So we need to constantly talk. So, and I'll ask them, what do you like? What's best for you? Email, text, or call? And you want to obviously communicate it the way that they want to communicate, okay? If you like to text all day long and you're dealing with somebody, things have definitely changed within the past, 10 years, where some generations, they wouldn't even text. Now they text more because they're texting their grandchildren or whatever. So texting is a great way, but again, you want to ask them how they prefer to communicate. Pick up the phone, So basically, how you benefit? With our specialized knowledge, you're going to get the right information and the right advice. With strong team support, you're going to get better service. And with the innovative consumer programs and technology, the house will sell with better results. I have some testimonials here. I used to carry around a book you guys used to carry around a book of testimonials where I used to be able to flip through. That's powerful stuff. If you guys can have that book handy, it's worth it. So I show them this online here on the presentation, and then I'll let them know that they can go to some websites to find some more testimonials. Preparing for your home to sell, and again, now this is all part of the leave behind. I don't go through all this stuff again, but it's all in here to let them know what they're gonna find. And then I have a little thank you. Let me see here. This is just customizable. It's already done for you. You just need to pop your face in there. And then I'll say, let's get started. And then I'll have my CMA reports all ready to go. So at that point, I'm gonna flip my computer around, and my CMA is super basic. It's, I try to keep it super simple. 3 actives, 3 under contracts, 3 expireds, 3 solds. I don't go ahead and show them interior pictures. I just flip that book over. The simple MLS CMA, you can integrate it with the HomeSmart branding and all of that. But I'll have the 3 houses right here on my laptop, and I'll just increase them as we're going through it. I'm literally just going over bedroom, bathroom, square footage, style of home, and comparing it. And this is what it's sold for, letting you know how much it was on the market and explaining why, yes.
You can.
No, sorry.
I just wanted to know. Usually, when I do a lot of CMAs, I focus on whatever's in contract because I think that is like a key indicator of what's happening right now. Obviously, if there's not a lot of stuff in contract, you try and use actives and solds. But I've never used expireds before. What's your thought process on the expireds?
And I'll explain to them. This is why we're looking at these things. We're looking at the actives because we want to know what your active competition is, right? We want to look at the expireds because we want to know what something was priced at and that did not sell. And then we want to look at the under contracts because my goal is to get you an offer. So we look at the contracts to know that we don't know what they sold for, but we know that that price got them an offer, okay? So we want to get an offer. That's the goal. If you don't get an offer, you can never get an accepted offer. So that's the contracts there. And then we look at the sold because we need to know what that house is going to appraise for if it's sold today. Does that answer your question? Mm-hmm. So I love the contracts. A lot of people say don't put under contracts in there, but I think it's a big factor to find out what those things are, what that person maxed out at to get an offer. And now, we also have to insert your agency disclosure right in here. I'm still paper folder guy, but we have a lot of our agents going totally paperless, where if you put your disclosures in here, I can sign right on my screen here. Then you could just have them sign and then upload it into RSA, which is the HomeSmart agent all-in-one marketing and transaction system. Insert your lead paint, insert your home warranty, insert your exclusive right to sell, and that's it. And I sign it and get everything signed. Now, if I was dealing with a luxury property, okay, we do have a luxury marketing package that I'm just going to flip through real quick, and it's really about marketing, that we're able to give them a really amazing electronic brochure for their property. We're able to get them on the New York Times until the property sells, the Wall Street Journal, the DuPont Registry, the Robb Report. We do international advertising for them. We have a deluxe email brochure. We have a deluxe luxury YouTube video, Facebook ads. They're pretty awesome. So, a lot of houses, you're able to use this marketing, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, even if it's not a luxury property, you can still get them on that if you need to secure a listing. Any questions?
When you talk about your commission that year.
Commission's next. Okay, so as I'm finished up with the actual CMA, what I do is I handwrite what their closing costs are going to be. So I start off with the New York State tax, $4 for every $1,000, and I'll write that right in there. Then I explain the property condition disclosure to them. Write down that $500 if their attorney suggests that they need to, if they suggest not to fill that form out. Then I put in an average attorney fee, what they're going to expect to pay for an attorney, and then I break down the commission for the listing side commission and the buy side commission. And I break it right out to them so they see that it's not just one large sum, so they know who's getting what. Okay. I total that up. I already had, during the initial walkthrough, I asked them what they owe on the property or over the phone, depending on how they're talking to me. Very important to know. You know, you want to know what you're going in for if you have to possibly be dealing with a short sale or whatever. But I total that number up, and I subtracted it from what they owe on the house, and I tell them, now this is the really ugly number, and I spin it around and I show it to them. That's what you're going to net, but that's the most important thing. And I don't find any agents really doing that. You know, you just break it down for them. And you know, I never, after going over all of this with them, I really don't ever have any sort of the issue with getting the highest amount commission, which whatever that is, we don't know what everybody charges, and we can't talk about it in this room. But any other questions? But yeah, our goal is to maximize, you know, the agent's commission, and that's why we do this today. We want to get you guys the most. We want to show you the tools, give you that technology, walk them through. You know, that's one thing that, you know, you're not a discount brokerage, right? What else?
When if you're the second person to come in to do a listing presentation, do you have any pushback or?
Love it. Thank you for pointing that out. One of my questions on that initial phone call is, are you interviewing any other real estate companies? Yeah, to be honest, you know, we got a friend, you know, our neighbors everybody's out there. But we are going to be talking to a couple people. I say, great. I always recommend to interview at least 2, 3 if possible. Then I'm going to ask you if I could be the last one in, so I can show you how much more I'm going to do for you. What else? All right. Any questions on through the webinar?
Your guarantee?
My guarantee. A USP ad. I do usually USP, which is a unique selling proposition. To offer, you know, my USP was your home sold in 73 days guaranteed, or I sell it for free. And then I just break down whatever USP you use. I recommend using one. And now it's your USP. You can break it down however you want. You know, obviously, I'm not in the business of selling houses for free. But we get it sold because we're going to guide them right through, you know, pricing, which is the most important thing, preparation, what to expect throughout the process. We're ready to get that house sold within 30 days, which is the goal, or to get an offer within the first 30 days. I also do have a slide on here that's a cancellation guarantee, that if they're not happy, and again, you guys can use that if you like, that if they're not happy with my services, they can cancel it at any time. And again, it's all about expectations, you know, preparing them what to expect.
So if they can cancel at any time, do we change what we write on our ERS when post listing expiring, if they're not satisfied, you know?
I keep it as a separate agreement.
Gotcha.
What else?
What do you consider a luxury home price?
Depends on where we are, what market we're in. You know, you're talking about Orange County. You know, Orange County is tough today, right? It's you have some really nice houses at 500,000, but they're not luxury. You know, I would use the 650 and up in Orange County. What do you think for Westchester?
Westchester, I don't know. I would say over easy 750. Yeah, easy 750, 800. Yeah.
Depends on the location.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we have listings, and this differs so much. You know, Putnam, Dutchess, but what we do here is we have luxury signage that agents can use, and you know, whatever postcards and business cards that you can get that with all the HomeSmart luxury.
Be careful with that as well, because you don't want to tell somebody it's a luxury home and scare a buyer away as well. Sure. you know, it's a fine line.
Right.
And they might see luxury and say, I can't afford that.
Right.
That property.
So I specifically don't have a specific guideline to use that luxury sign. If you felt it was a luxury home and priced at $500,000, you can use a luxury sign if you like. That luxury marketing with the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, you can honestly put a $350,000 house in there. That's fine. When you get to the DuPont registry, it has to be over $500,000 to go in there. And the Rob report, I think, is over 750 or 800. Yeah. All right, we good?
That marketing knob is possible.
Yeah, we have a great discount package with that to get online. $150, and you're on all that. You get all that stuff. Awesome. We have one agent that gets a lot of expired listings by just telling them that they're going to be on the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. Yeah, cool. All right, well, let's sum up the webinar, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This will be recorded, so you can watch it whenever you want. I'll be putting it on RSA on our YouTube channel as well, and it's there for you. Thanks, guys. Good stuff.